nomination process is over. In this video, we are going to compare the economic policies of the key candidates and what they have proposed so far to take Sri Lanka out from this crisis. That's what we are going to evaluate today. We know their manifestos are yet to be released, but so far, from what we have seen on media and on the rallies, what they have spoken, we are just going to do a quick summary or a comparison for you to take a decision or to improve your knowledge on what are the reforms that these candidates are looking at to take Sri Lanka out from this crisis is the objective of this video. We are not saying any of these policies are right or wrong. We are just saying that these are the suggestions or probable solutions each party has proposed. So we are going to compare today Sajith Premadasa, Ranil Wickremesinghe, Andrakumar Dissanayake and Namal Rajapaksa are the key candidates we are going to compare today. Of course, there are about 39 candidates who are planning to contest for this presidential election, which is due on 21st of September. We are going to analyze their economic policy based on 6 key areas. First is what's the stance on the IMF. Second is on the revenue side. Third is on the central bank independence and the banking sector. Fourth is on SOE reforms, which is quite critical. Fifth is on the economic growth. Sixth is on anti-corruption and governance. Let's start with on the stance on the IMF. Sajith Premadasa and the SJB is mainly on the view that there can be amendments brought into the IMF program, but they are going to continue with the IMF program but with some amendments. That's a broader idea by the SJB. Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is going to continue with the IMF program. However, yesterday there were some amendments being suggested to the IMF on the thresholds of the income tax. However, it also indicates that continuation with IMF, maybe with amendments or maybe without amendments. NPP and Andrakumar Dissanayake pretty much is in the same view that they are going to continue with the IMF but with some suggestions, some amendments to the IMF. Namal Rajapaksa and the SLPP, we do not really know their stance. I think information is yet to be released. But however, pretty much they have supported the President Wickremesinghe. So pretty much it's also in a way a continuation of the IMF it seems, but the information is yet to be known. That's all about the IMF and the stance on the IMF. Let's now move back to the revenue side. In terms of the revenue, we all know that the revenue has to be increased. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to increase the taxes, but we have to increase the government revenue because we have to pay our debt. So what SJB has basically proposed is they are going to change or amend the APIT or the previous payee, and there are some amendments or suggestions to change on the corporate tax and also the VAT. But they have basically mentioned that they are going to improve the tax administration. Ranil Wickremesinghe pretty much commits to move ahead with the IMF program, suggestions on improving the tax administration, but also in the IMF program, there's inheritance tax and some sort of wealth tax, but the direction is pretty much from Ranil Wickremesinghe. The current president is on continuation with the IMF program and the tax suggestions to increase the taxes. Andrakumar Dissanayake, they suggest that they are also going to change some of the tax rates on APIT or the previous payee, and also they have committed that they are going to bring down the VAT rates, especially on education and healthcare, because as a way of providing relief for people. But more details are yet to be known, and also they have claimed that they are going to collect the taxes which hasn't been paid by the corporates. Is one of the key suggestions to improve the revenue by the NPP. Namal Rajapaksa and the SLPP, we are yet to see the details. Of course, he is a new candidate, and hopefully when the manifestos are out, we will be able to know more details on the revenue side. Third is on the central bank independence, the monetary policy and the banking sector. Sajith Premadasa and the SJB has basically pretty much haven't said anything controversial. They have said they are going to continue with the CBSL independence. Rather, they haven't said anything controversial on the CBSL independence. Ranil Wickremesinghe has clearly said that they are going to go ahead with the central bank independence, but on the banking sector, they have said that they are going to set up a new bank for micro, small, medium enterprises. No other details, but pretty much sticking with the central bank independence. Andukumar Dissanayaka and the NPP has basically said that they are going to bring some amendments to the independence of the central bank bill, mainly a way that the central bank can intervene and enhance growth for the country is one of the amendments that they are looking at. At the same time, they are going to set up a development bank to enhance entrepreneurship, and also they have been speaking about a cooperative system. Samupakara kramayak kiyala kiyana sinhalen. So there are discussions about a cooperative system and a development bank to encourage entrepreneurs. Namal Rajapaksa and the SLPP, we are yet to know the details, but they have also had some critical views about the central bank independence, but yet to see the details. State-owned enterprises reforms, one of the key themes throughout this election. SJB basically shared different views on state-owned enterprises reforms. They are overall said that SOE needs to be reformed, but whether it's a clear privatization or whether it is a structure like a holding company, there have been multiple views by multiple individuals within the party, but pretty much it's not very clear. They have said they are going to reform the state-owned enterprises. What the structure is not yet clear. There has been a suggestion and thought process on a holding company, but the structure is not very clear. There has been different announcements or different individuals speaking on different solutions on SOE reforms. When it comes to Ranil Wickremesinghe, they have said they are going ahead with the state-owned enterprises restructuring unit. Some are privatization. There is a bill which is due. We don't know when that will come to Parliament. But however, it is pretty much on reforming the state-owned enterprises with a holding company and with some privatizations. When it comes to NPP, again, there are different messaging sometimes from different individuals. But basically what their messaging has been, they will not tap the strategic enterprises in the sectors of power and energy, banking, transport, and on the telco sector. That has been the messaging, or that has been the stance by the NPP. But there are also being some suggestions that they will do not engage in the strategic, non-strategic enterprises is what the NPP has basically said. But also there are conversations about promoting some of the strategic enterprises by the NPP as state-owned enterprises is what they have said. From SLPP, they haven't said anything, but their overall stance has been these are national assets that we should not privatize anything, has been the narrative earlier by the SLPP. So we expect a proper statement at the manifesto, but generally SLPP is not for privatizations because they consider these state-owned enterprises as national assets. On the economic growth, because we all know the economy has to grow. Our economy basically contracted over the last few quarters, so economy has to grow. What are the specific measures has been proposed by all these main candidates? SJB, they are proposing a regional multi-asset cross-exchange for development of capital markets, and also they are proposing trade integration with the southern part of India, and with trade integration with connecting to the global supply chain, creating an export-oriented economy is what is proposed by the SJB. Ranil Wickremesinghe and pretty much the former UNP, now he is contesting as a coalition. Pretty much their strategy has been the trade agreements, economic transformation bill, making Sri Lanka a green financing hub, and through agricultural modernization, Ranil Wickremesinghe is planning to grow the economy. When it comes to NPP or Andukumar Dissanayaka, they have proposed different solutions based on the sectors like tourism, like IT, state sector, private sector, different sectors they have explored. They have said private sector is the engine of growth, but on the strategic sectors that the government will intervene, and also they are proposing cooperative system. Some of the individuals affiliated to the party have views on the cooperative sector as also to bring it to this formula of economic growth. Namal Rajapaksa and the SLPP, they are also generally driven to the economic growth through construction and many other measures, but yet to see the details. Overall, pretty much everyone believes the private sector as the engine of growth, but the growth strategy will differ from party to party, and we are yet to see the detailed plan when the manifestos are out. The final point or the final matrix of evaluation is on the governance reform. SJB has basically or broadly mentioned that they are going to go ahead with the IMF governance diagnostic report and with a strong anti-corruption narrative. Ranil Wickremesinghe and his coalition basically again says that they are going to go ahead with the IMF governance diagnostic report. NPP and Dhananath taking a strong stance on anti-corruption. There are some ideas being discussed, setting up a separate unit like the FCID under the Yahaparana government to expedite the process on anti-corruption measures. But we are yet to know the details, but they are taking a very strong anti-corruption narrative against the corruptions that has been taken place. Namal Rajapaksa and the SLPP, they see the anti-corruption move has to be driven also with the digitization. That's the way forward that they see. So out of these all 6 areas, the stance on the IMF, the revenue side, the central bank reforms and the banking sector, state-owned enterprises reforms, economic growth, and the governance reforms are the 6 main areas that we evaluated the 4 key candidates. As we mentioned, there are 39 candidates this time contesting on the presidential election. We are looking forward to evaluate more on the economic policies when the manifestos are released. Definitely we are not commenting on any policy because it's up to you to decide which policy do you think which can take Sri Lanka out from this crisis. And if you think that we are misinterpreting or our messaging is not very clear on certain sectors or certain areas of the particular parties, please correct us on the comment strip and we are open for conversation. All this information are gathered from the media reports and what has been spoken by the presidential candidates, and we have the sources for what we have basically mentioned. This is just a canvas for you to get an understanding and knowledge about what is going on and what are the economic policies key candidates are proposing. We'll see you with a new video next week.
If you are interested in seeing more content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Advocata on all social media platforms to never miss out on our latest content. Consider supporting Advocata by becoming an individual subscriber. Gain access to our weekday media monitoring of economic news, exclusive Advocata events, and more. To learn more, visit us at support.advocata.org.